Hi everyone. So I just returned from the gorgeous island of St. Lucia and I went there as part of the BookofCinz reading retreat. So if you clicked on this video, you're either interested in St. Lucia or the reading retreat. So for anyone who's interested in the reading retreat, honestly, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. I'm probably gonna do it again. The reason I think it was such a great trip, it was so well executed, I think three main things. So one, the itinerary. There was a lot more to do than I expected because, you know, reading retreat, and there was reading, by the way. But I think we got to do so many things, from the waterfalls to the sulfur springs to the chocolate tour to like the catamaran day. You know, we had beach days. I think that was just really well done. And it made me not only want to see more of St. Lucia, but more of other Caribbean islands, as someone who's part of the Caribbean diaspora and hasn't really traveled too much around the region itself. And then in addition to the itinerary, what I think was really well, and it worked hand in hand with that, was the pacing of the trip. So we had 2 beach days, you know, laze around, relax, but also when we had our more adventurous days, so when we were just like busy all day, we did have that break between, you know, lunch, late afternoon, and dinner to just like recharge, rest up. For those who brought work, the ability to work as well, but just, you know, read the book, just some downtime at least with like all the activities that was happening. And then I think the final thing, which was very important, and I hope you see in these clips, is that the vibe and the energy of the trip was just very much unmatched. And that was mostly due to our hosts. And I think also a combination of the people in the group and how we got along. We are all part of, you know, we're either from the Caribbean or part of the Caribbean diaspora, meaning, you know, we live in the US, live and work. But it was just great to sort of like talk about that and our own experiences and what it's like, you know, sort of like being from different Caribbean islands and things like that. I think that really made it just a better experience overall, at least, you know, for me personally. So I really liked that. Starting off with accommodations, we stayed at the Fondue Eco Resort, and they definitely put the eco in Eco Resort. Overall, the finish was, I want to say, very Caribbean focused architecture, from the design, the wooden furniture, the room itself, huge. It was nice that they had little accents with the welcome and everything. Overall, really liked the accommodation. And for those who think, you know, hey, I might want something more updated, they do have renovated or newer sort of modern rooms and suites. The one thing that I think we sort of had mixed reviews on was the outdoor bathroom. And I think that's primarily because at night you can hear, or even in the day, you can hear all of the insects, the crickets, the birds, everything. So one thing to keep in mind there. But all in all, I think I really enjoyed being so close to nature, having it all around, the sights, the sounds. It was just really nice to be immersed in that. So for me, I thought it was a nice touch to sort of have a very eco-centered location for everything. The first day was really just arrival. We did have a welcome dinner that day, but it was really just around getting situated, getting acquainted with the room, and unpacking. For day 2, I think we started off with a more relaxing vibe. So we spent most of the day at Sugar Beach before doing a Jade Mountain Resort. I believe it was Sunset Drinks Tour. Now, the resort itself, gorgeous, love the architecture. Unfortunately, the sunset didn't exactly comply, but it was just a nice opportunity to get to know everyone, have a conversation, connect, and really just enjoy the scenery, enjoy the view. And again, it's a lovely property, so that was really nice.
Morning. Can I have cream and sugar?
For day 3, this is where we got a lot more adventurous. So we started out with the sulfur springs.
I'm trying to get my skin perfect. L'Oreal.
It really does make your skin a lot softer, smoother. But the entire time I was doing it, I was just like, okay, hopefully I don't break out. But I committed. I put it on my face. I was all in. And yeah, it ended up being a wonderful experience.
I have never felt anything like this.
I would definitely do again. And that actually made me think that this day was hands down my favorite day of the entire trip.
I spoke too soon. This was the best thing so far. Best thing.
After we did the sulfur spring, we moved on to visiting a waterfall. I unfortunately don't think I captured the name, but it was another opportunity to also wipe off all of the sulfur residue that we had because we didn't wipe off properly the first time. But I think it was also just because it was so cold and refreshing, I think it woke us up a bit. Just because I feel like, I don't know why, the sulfur spring, it was very relaxing, soothing. So I feel like we were just a little bit sleepy. So the waterfall immediately helped with that, woke us right up. And then for lunch, we headed off to Rabbit Restaurant, or I think the chocolate restaurant. I'm not too sure there. Immediately, I fell in love with the architecture and that view. It was so magnificent to just have the mountains right there. It was great to see. And overall, it was just a very relaxing atmosphere and aesthetic. And I think the weather was just ideal that day.
Mixed dressing, which has chocolate in there. The middle is a cacao nib butter, which is salted butter and chocolate. And the very top here is a 72% chocolate dip with nut pesto.
Make the just wants to make friends.
Yeah.
So hopping right on into the food, almost everything on the menu, if not everything, has chocolate or cocoa integrated with it somehow. And that was just like a very interesting thing to taste and try out, is how those flavors sort of like blended together and mesh really well. So it's definitely not something that I would immediately be like, oh yeah, a chocolate roti, let's do that. But it was definitely a very fun experience. And I feel like we had a lot of opportunities to try different things there. And then after the restaurant, we got to go back to our accommodations and just chill out and relax. The next thing on the itinerary for that day was a nature walk through the Stonefield property, where we actually later had dinner as well.
Imagine a bunch of people hanging around and a lady giving birth right here. It must have been a huge occasion because they were trying to expand the tribe.
After telling us a little bit about the history of the place, our tour guide also showed us to the farm that they had on the property, because that fed into the kitchen for a very farm to table experience.
Yeah, every day I give them about a handful of mint.
Yum, this is gonna be yummy.
Fresh mojitos.
And then finally, before dinner, they took us on a tour of, I think, just the accommodations at the resort. Honestly, I was sold. From the view, seeing the sunset, it was just really nice, very relaxing. But I was just glad that they gave us sort of that extra peek inside. So right before dinner, we had our blind date with a book. Ooh.
Read if you love a coming-of-age book, you love books set in the 1890s, you love history, and you love Caribbean fiction. So I thought this could be The Taste of Sugar, but I think it feels too small.
I love the taste of sugar.
So that was what my thought was there, but a little too small for that. And it is The Book of Night Women.
Whoa! I would love to read that. I've heard. Was it his first one?
Yeah, for this area.
That's what I'm excited to read. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Did you read it already?
Oh my gosh! I'm so jealous.
For day 4, most of the day was spent on the water. So we had a catamaran day where we got to sail. I think we ended up at just different beaches. Lunch was provided. 10 out of 10, relaxing experience, but also just very fun. So really enjoyed a full day out on the water.
All right?
Yes.
Welcome aboard Last Call.
Thank you.
The name of your boat. My name is VR. I have Winnie and Eli. My crew. So, welcome aboard, guys.
Once we got back to the property, amazingly, we did not want our water time to end, so we decided to take a quick dip in the pool. To round out the day, we had a 5-course tasting at Orlando's restaurants. The collection of different things and flavors that was mixed together was in such a unique way that gave so much homage to Caribbean flavor, Caribbean ingredients, and cuisine. I absolutely loved it. And obviously...
Okay, so what we have here, we have a plantain soup.
Interesting.
With a home-made grilled bread.
And off the night, it was Rachel's birthday, so we sang her happy birthday, and all in all, it was just a great day. Again, it's really hard to pick a favorite when things go as good as they go.
Happy birthday to you.
So for day 5, our very last day, or our last full day, I should say, we stayed on property and did a chocolate tour. So they walked us through from the field all the way to the process in-house before we got to make our own chocolate.
So that one's ripe.
Yeah, this one's ready. Those two are ready.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, when it's yellow.
Of course I can do it.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna break in one.
That's it.
Alright, so inside you could see the pulp where you could suck on. So that's actually the cocoa beans, or the what I called earlier, the jungle M&Ms.
Jungle M&Ms.
Yeah.
So yum.
So you could take one, suck on it. So this building right here is actually called a cocoa fermenter. It's actually 250 years old. So the plantation workers who normally go around picking the right cocoa pods, like what you have in your hand, from all around the plantation, and then they'll actually bring them all open to the beans, place them into one of the 6 trays right here. So they'll pull up a slime over the beans. And then normally somebody will go in there barefooted to do the cocoa rina dance. So I'm gonna jump in there to do it, and also that's just to polish and to preserve the beans in there. Okay? Alright, so feel free to video if you like.
People put this on the wake on it. Or the fans, Brandon. You could start it up cold right now. Give some money.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
you're
can.
not-
Talking about dancing in the cauldron.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys ready?
Yes.
Alright, so it goes like this. That's it right there. And when it's done, you get a really good chocolate pedicure and a really good workout for sure from that.
For sure. Because you said half an hour, right?
Yeah, half an hour.
So that's the cardio for the day.
Alright guys, so enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Bye. 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 Alright.
Our final activity for that day was relaxing at Sugar Beach, which I felt like was a very nice, poetic ending to just chill out, relax. It was a gorgeous day. The weather definitely complied. The food was amazing. And all in all, I feel like I just felt just a tiny bit sad that things were coming to an end. And then after the beach, we decided to, well, we had to return to the resort to pick up the chocolate that we had made earlier as sort of a parting souvenir and gift. That night, we did have our farewell dinner. We also got treats from Cindy's. So on the trip, I feel like I had a very hard time figuring out which day was my favorite day. Because on day 2, I was like, this is so relaxing. The view is gorgeous. This is amazing. And then day 3, I was like, nah, this is it. This is the day. But then day 4, I was like, you know what? It was just a great trip and there's no need to pick favorites. That being said, I definitely know what was my least favorite day, and that's departure. Wah, wah. All good things must come to an end, and within no time at all, I was back on the East Coast, arriving in our lovely city of Philadelphia. Host is sitting right here,
don't put me
but
on the
I am
camera.
not allowed to use her likeness or image.
Don't use my voice either.
It's too late.
Don't use my voice.
Stop using my image. Hey,
It's too late.
stop using my image.
It's too late.
Like a compiler. This is a book that we just finished reading that we're going to discuss tonight. Stop filming me, Jim.